I'm going to go ahead and jump into our call to action. As you know, I'm reviewing Storybrand, and I'm trying to take these chunks, these chewable chunks, so that you can actively apply Storybrand. The reason why we use Storybrand is because Storybrand is really successful in their messaging. And has everyone seen the book, read the book? We've sent the book, like we've talked about the book. We do a lot of stuff with the book. So you should be really familiar with the Storybrand. Today, I want to go over the call to action. So we have talked about there's a person who has a problem and he meets a guide and who has a plan. And then the thing after that is that call to action. So yay, Sarah, I'm so glad. So I am going to switch over to slides for just a really quick minute. I'm going to do some slides, hopefully not ad nauseum. But let me get this share screen and grab your notebook, and we're going to take some notes and think about right now in your mind, what is the call to action that you have right now? It could be something really small, like simple, like just social media. Come follow me, join me on, social media. It could be you have an opt-in, could be you have a value offer, could be your one big thing. But it's a call to action, and it's either I want you to connect with me, or I want you to actually now engage with me. You're going to give me your email, or I want you to actually apply the information that we're learning in a more official way. So be thinking right now, what is that call to action for you? And then we will start. All right. Oops. All right. Let me scoot you guys over here. Okay. Call to action. There are two kinds of call to actions, okay? There's transitional and there's direct. And they do make the point in there over and over, they need an invitation. I think this is one of the biggest problems we women have, is that we have difficulty inviting or challenging people to come to try our thing, to get to know us, or to see us as an expert. Anybody had a problem with that before? Of hesitating to invite someone or tell them what you have or what you do? Yeah. Anybody had a problem with that at Thanksgiving when they're like, what do you do? And you're like, blah, 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 kind of stumbling over and like, well, I kind of do this thing and it's really cool. And had a hard time maybe standing in that space and saying your one big message. You know what? I train certain women to find their purpose and then to be influential speaker, writers, media personality, presence for him, right? Being able to like just feel like you can say it clearly, succinctly, and confidently. So there's two kinds of those invitations. Now, I like to use the word invitation because that's what the Savior does. He always invites us and wants to bring us in to be better and up level. So since we do it the DTL way, I'm going to use more of that word invitation, but that doesn't mean we can't do a 3-day challenge, a 5-day challenge, or something like that. There's a little more punch to it than saying a 3-day invitation. Okay, so those two, let's go a little bit nitty gritty. You need to position yourself in these transitional and direct. You need to position yourself, 1, as the authority, 2, to give freely, and 3, also position yourself as the guide. So that means you're in a position of authority saying, I've been there, I've done what you've done, or I've been in the position you're in, or the situation that you've had. And so therefore I have wisdom because now I'm out of that situation. I'm in a better situation. So remember, in that call to action, you want to make it clear that you've been there, done that, and you're better now. So now you speak from a position of, I can give you tips and tools and you can trust me because I know what you've been through and I'm already out of it. Give freely. Don't worry about, I got to hold on to this and I don't want to. Now, of course, we don't want to cannibalize our one big thing, obviously, because like I've mentioned before, if we give too much too soon, they will think that they are changing in the most transformative way, and they're not. They're going to do a little bit and they're going to be like, oh yeah, that's like my kids saying, I cleaned the bathroom, and I go in and the toilet's not done, the bathtub's not done, the sink's not done. They did the mirror. So they think they cleaned the bathroom. I'm like, no, there's a whole lot more to cleaning the bathroom. So we want to make sure that we give them just enough to keep them growing and wanting to be and become more, but we don't make them think that they've already done everything they need to do. And then as a guide, that you have some kind of system, 3-point plan, something that will guide them. You're not just sort of like throwing it out there. Now, if that little bonus here, if that is your methodology, that's fine. If people are like, oh, she just more like chats, and then I get what I need from it, or you're kind of more narrative and you want them to just sort of like learn from your life, that's different. But most people need some kind of specific takeaway. They need something that you can clearly say, do this. And they say, okay, now I can replicate that. I can do that. Okay, so let's get to what is really effective in a call to action. Okay, think of the call to action that I just asked you to consider. Remember the service staircase. Maybe it's that entrance level. Just join me on social media. Maybe it's I've got this opt-in or a value offer or my one big thing. Think about what your effective call to action is for that. And think about what elements may be missing. One, you want to make the reader aware of a threat. Okay, so in the book, they talk about termites and things like that. For you, it's going to be a what? 2 words. Pain point, right? You should see that in your sleep. What is their pain point? Make them aware of a pain point, and they may not even be aware of it. So like Mandy Marie may be saying to them, you're completely overwhelmed. And they're like, well, I'm not. No, I'm doing it. I'm making it happen. And she's like, well, let's take this little survey. And they're like 10 plus on these stressful things. And they go, oh my gosh, this isn't just normal motherhood. I'm overwhelmed, which is kind of normal motherhood, but it's not a helpful overwhelm. So make them aware of a threat. Second, reduce their vulnerability. So whatever it is that's creating that pain point, help find out, oh, where can I reduce my vulnerability to that? So like they say with the termites, okay, now here's what you can do so that you don't even get termites in the first place, okay? So you're going to reduce their vulnerability to overwhelm or to the everyday, for Lindsay, the everyday stresses that women are dealing with, and they just don't really have like a place to go and talk about it, but now they do because they have a Sharecast that they can go to. But think about what that looks like. If someone's thinking about getting remarried, okay, reduce the vulnerability for that. And Stacey's like, I got you. I got this opt-in. I got this thing that I can give you that will help you know the 5 key things you need to address before you even consider getting remarried. That reduces vulnerability. Okay. The third one is offer a specific call to action that reduces the risk. So if they're like, oh, I wanted to hear what Stacey has to say, what would that be? That free download reduces the risk. Or that discovery call reduces the risk. Or it may be that PDF reduces the risk. Something that says, I am so confident that what I have is going to help you, that if I give you this bit, I know you're going to love it and it's going to reduce your stress. I'm going to let you try this for 50% off because I know that once you try it, you're going to love it. You're going to be back. And then the last one is challenge or invite them to take the action. And a lot of times that's an urgency, that's a time deadline, that's you're going to only get me for this certain amount of time, or after the masterclass for 15 minutes. So that's going to be something that's going to invite them to take action because they're going to say, wow, I get this one time or this chance to do it, and I better do it now. Any questions on any of those? Okay, I want you to write down on your paper that you have before you, what is your call to action? What's your best call to action right now? And write down what that call to action is. And then we're going to come back to this because I want to talk about what kind of offer could address those 4 elements. So if you don't have one, or if you have one, what offer do you have or you need to have that could address those 4 elements? Okay, we'll come back. I want to go through the transitional and the direct so that you'll know the 2 kinds of call to actions that you can consider to incorporate those 4 elements. So transitional is to build the relationship and build trust. It's to invite the small yes. So this is more of that free PDF, a webinar, a masterclass. We're doing a masterclass tomorrow. And again, you're all invited if you want to pop in, if you want to share a little experience or whatever. It's at noon from 12 to 12:30, and you can pop in. It'll be great. It's on my usual link. But on that, when you are doing transitional, that means you're just nurturing this relationship and you're letting them get to know who you are so that you can get those small yeses that say, you can trust me and you can respect that I have credibility and I'm going to actually give you a result. So that's transitional. So can you think about that? Look at your call to action that you have on your paper. Is it a transitional one? Is it more of a freebie? Is it your opt-in? Is it your free Costco sample? Or is it something that's more direct? Think about what your call to action is. And then think about that. I'm going to give you 30 seconds. We'll give you 30 seconds to think about it so you can kind of workshop it for a minute. What could be, you can brainstorm some ideas of what could be transitional call to actions. If you haven't done a master class, maybe try that. If you haven't done a Sharecast, maybe try that. If you haven't done a webinar, or if you haven't done a free PDF or something like that, or a discovery call for 20 minutes, maybe you could consider trying that. What's something that could work? that would build that relationship of trust and build your credibility. Okay, the second one is direct. That's the buy now button. And it doesn't have to be like you got buy now splashed all over, but it's got to stand out. So that button should be a different color than what you do. Like maybe you have more white and then you do a bright orange button or a bright blue button, something like that, and make the button consistent. So all the way through your landing page, your website, whatever it is, you're going to make that color consistent so it stands out. They make the point in there that says your customers should know you want to marry them. So hopefully that doesn't trigger anybody, but just think about what that would mean if they knew that they wanted you, right? That you wanted them. I remember, I think I brought this up before, but when I was working with Michelle Villalobos, I tended to have a hesitation to actually be more direct in inviting them to do what I wanted them to do, to come to a retreat or take a chance on a discovery call. And she made the point one day, she said, you need to share in your follow-up text, I'm so excited to talk to you. I'm so excited to work with you. I can absolutely see you at the retreat, because I would be really hesitant. I don't want to make up their mind for them. And now I just have created a protocol for myself that I don't say anything until I know where they are and they've said it themselves. So I just had discovery calls this week and I would say to them, so where are you on the scale of 1 to 10, of 1 being, this is not a fit for me, and 10 being, I am salivating. I am like drooling to get to this retreat, right? And once they tell me I'm at a 9, then I can say, okay, I'm so excited because as I've been talking to you, I can see you are so DTL and this is going to be a great fit for you. So I found a way to compromise that for that, like to find a way to be able to do that for myself, to make sure I'm not making up their mind for them and they don't feel like I am. But for sure, let them know that you want to work with them, because sometimes we skip that part and they don't even know that they want to be a part of that you want them to be a part of what you're doing. There's a gal that was in the DTLC and she said, I just thought, oh, they wouldn't want me. Like, why would they want me? And she's so sharp. She was amazing. I was like, how could you even think that? But that's what some people think. And they don't think that they're good enough, or that maybe they know enough, or that they're a good fit for what you're doing. So let them know. So this is also order now, call today, schedule an appointment, register today, book it now. And then other examples to get that to be more or time urgency, a discount code to buy today, or a certain timeline. This is only good for 7 days. So that's a good way to make it a direct call to action. So now look at your call to action and think, what kind of a direct call to action could you offer? Do you already, or could you offer? And just brainstorm what that could look like. I could do a 7-day sort of a burst and spotlight on whatever it is that I'm offering. I know for Kindle, when you go into Kindle KDP, then you can do like a graduating thing of you put your book out and you put it out for this price for this many days, and then it goes up and then it goes up and goes up again. So there's this kind of urgency timeline of get it, as soon as possible for the cheapest price. So think about what that would look like for you as a direct CTA, a direct call to action. Again, 2 other pieces of a good call to action is you want them to either escape something painful or experience something good. So do a little CTA check for yourself. And does it help them escape something painful, difficult, uncomfortable? Or does it help them experience something good? Okay, so let's go through this really quickly and just think in the scriptures, what's a direct call to action? Can you think of someone in the scriptures who gave a direct call to action?
Come follow me.
Come follow me. Beautiful.
Remember.
Remember. Anyone else? John the Baptist, right? Be baptized, or you guys are idiots, right? He was really pretty straightforward. Moroni, repent and get off your throne, you child of, another place. So yeah, there's direct call to actions. And then there's transitional. What could be some good examples in the scriptures of transitional call to actions? I thought of Alma, where he's talking about the seed, and it's more of that sort of parable and story of like, if you plant your faith, it'll be like a seed and it will grow, and then you can practice that and it's going to feel good. That's more of that transitional kind of teaching and see the concept and how does it apply to you. So that's more of that transitional call to action. Okay, so any thoughts?
Can you, I'm struggling a little bit with transitional. Can you give us example of the transitional transactions that or invitations that you use?
Absolutely. And I also feel like you can do a hybrid, right? You can have this transitional thing and then have a direct call to action at the end. So we're doing a masterclass tomorrow. That's a transitional call to action. I'm offering a free class, 30 minutes, and I'm letting him know we're talking about these 3 things. If you need this, you want this, I'm going to tell that to you. And then I'm doing that 15-minute freebie Q&A afterwards. It's just an optional if they want to stay on. I'm going to answer any questions they have, and I'm going to tell them about what we do. I'm going to say, hey, if you have any questions about what we do, I'd love to share it with you. If you want to hear it, great. If you don't, no stress. But I'm going to do more of that direct call to action there, where I say, here, you've learned these things. If you want to know more, ask me any questions you want to ask. And then after we're done with that, I'm going to share what I do. And if you want to hear about that, great. And then I'm going to give them a direct call to action. If you want to sign up for a retreat, I'm going to give you the opportunity to save $500 on the retreat, because you can be, this will be in essence, that discovery call. Because why do I give $500 off? If they invest in me, I will invest right back in them. So if they sat through that 30 minutes of a masterclass, I'm absolutely going to reward them. So I'm going to give them a direct call to action to come to the retreat. Again, if we have something like, on my post, my social media posts, we'll do a reel of the retreat and say, hey, have you considered retreat? I'll say, have you felt a rumble? Do you want to increase your reach, or do you want to know tools to take your message out there to increase your reach or get traction? Then check out what we've got. And that's more of like that soft kind of, check it out, come and do this discovery call, my free discovery call. And then in the discovery call, I'm going to be more direct. And it's working. We just had this last week. We had 3 women sign up for a retreat. So that softer transition is, do you know what we do? Would you like to know more? And really emphasizing the outcomes of what we can do to get you there. And then in the discovery call, I'm going through specifics of what we can do to help them do that. And then making that direct invitation and saying, how are you feeling about this on a scale of 1 to 10? Are you feeling like this is a fit or not? And if they're saying, well, I may be at like an 8, a 7 or an 8, and I can say, why is that? What is it that's holding you back when your desire is here, but you have concerns? So what's holding you back? And then I can find out a little bit more about what's keeping them from doing it.
And that would be entitled Reduce Their Vulnerability. Is
Yeah,
that what
exactly.
that is? Okay.
Well, exactly. Or anything like the call to action that reduces their risk. A discovery call reduces their risk. I'm not saying come to the retreat today, click here and pay the money and get in that retreat, and you don't even know me. That reduces the risk. The discovery call is a transitional thing because I'm reducing that risk. And I'm saying you get to know me first, and then I'm going to give you a direct invitation, because I'm vetting them as much as they're vetting me. But we've got to have that invitation to take action. And this is where a lot of times we women kind of step back and we get a little hesitant because we don't really invite. Now, if you've been a missionary, how many people have served a mission on here? Let me stop share for a second. How many people have served a mission? Raise them high. Awesome. I mean, what do we just kind of like be subtle? No, your mission president has said, you invite, like after you've had 2 lessons, if you feel the spirit, you're like, hey, we invite you to be baptized, right? Because there's no time like the present, and the Lord knows they're going to get more in the doing. But if they felt a confirmation, then let's move it. Let's do this. So something to consider. Anybody have any questions on this? I want to give you, I'm serving my Mission Impossible right now. I want to give you a few minutes to really workshop this. So I'm going to take a couple minutes of quiet, and I want you to write down, my call to action is this. It is a direct invitation to have a transitional call to action and a direct call to action version of that call to action. So for example, if I'm saying I want to invite women to the retreat, my transitional one is going to be come and do a discovery call, a free discovery call. My direct invitation is going to be at the discovery call, or like we just did for Black Friday, we're giving you an incredible deal and it's only going to last this long. So you're going to want to take advantage of it. Click here now. But I'm asking them to do a transitional call to action, which is to get to know me. So I'm saying you're going to get this great deal, and it's a direct do it now because it's a time urgency thing, but I'm still going to take them back to that transitional thing because it's a retreat. This isn't a $47 like mini class, right? This is a big investment. So I'm still going to transition them to make sure that they are interested in what we're doing. Yeah, they can get a discount. Yes, they can get a deal, but I still want to make sure that they know what they're getting into. I know that they're a good fit for it. And that means that they'll actually say, yes, I want to do this. Does that make sense? I hope I didn't confuse anyone. So it's paying attention to where there's the free and the transitional and them getting to know you and build those two things. Trust and respect. That respect is a credibility. And then being able to invite them when they're ready and they've gotten that information. Good information precedes good inspiration, as President Nelson tells us. Once they've gotten that and they can feel that, oh, this is what I need, that's when you hit that direct call to action. I am getting divine downloads of a free PDF that I need to get made and out ASAP. Yay! That just thrills me that you just said that. Okay, let's give you a couple minutes to go ahead and write that out. And then I'm going to ask for volunteers to share, or maybe I'll just compel people to share so that everybody makes sure they write down their call to action. And if you have your current call to action, which several of you do, if you have that, test that with those things. Does it help them escape something uncomfortable or painful? And does it help them experience something that's powerfully good, right? Something that they go, oh my gosh, you guys, I tried this meditation. Have you tried it? So good. You ought to try this. Tanya is amazing. Amber, I love how you're doing it with the one arm. It's just so good. It takes me right back. Okay, anyone want to share what their call to action is and where it might be transitional and direct? Amber, I do what I can and give myself grace. I honestly feel like as moms, when we have everything going, you got two hands going, everything, that means that we get more angels attending. That's what I think. Because I felt it when my kids got older. I felt like there was a shift in that angelic help with between my little ones, and that was different. Tina.
So, I'm doing these meditations every Wednesday night for December, which honestly, my intention was not ever to have a call to action. But I'm thinking President Nelson always gives us a call to action.
Yeah. I was just going to say, I don't want to sound mean, but we always should have a call to action with everything we do. Even if it's free, even if it's whatever, we're leading them somewhere. Love it.
So I was thinking, you guys help me out at the end. If you like this type of meditation, if you like this meditation, you may like the type of therapy I offer. If you have any questions, here's a link. I'll put the link below.
Yes, I would say it with more confidence, though. I would say, do you love this? Want more? You got it. I got you. Check out this. And if for the therapy, I would encourage you to do a little bridge thing. So if it's a meditation, because it's not really therapy that you're giving them a cost, I would bridge that with that meditation. Then I would bridge it with either do a free discovery call with me or something like that. With one top of mind concern you have, do a 15-minute call and say, I can use some of these meditative techniques and some other techniques I have for you to feel peace, joy, less stress, something. So emphasize outcomes. Want more? I can help you feel peace, joy, blah, through some different techniques that I can share in a free 15-minute call.
Thank you.
You got it. Anybody else wanted to share what she had? Any thoughts on Tina's? If you do, just let me know so we're not cutting you out. Anybody else want to share their call to action? I was just going to say, Ingrid, I want to hear the inspiration.
I think my call to action, well, like a transitional or soft one, would be to just like follow me or share my content so that I can increase my reach. And then, my more direct one is going to be like either, get my freebie or my one big thing. Right. But I can kind of nurture that along with the email sequence over time. But I guess my direct one immediate would be just like get my freebie. And my freebie, I think, is like a how to simplify Christmas Eve, like how to get more sleep on December 24th.
I love it.
Right?
Ladies,
Is
what do
it
you
the
think?
time is now? I mean, I could do it if I just had an hour and sit down and do it, and then I got to link it on my Funnel Breezy thing. But that's what people need
love
now.
it.
And then the Spirit of Christmas one that I made is for right after Christmas.
I love it. And I think that's a great idea, because who hasn't been stumbling around like a zombie at 2 or 3 in the morning, right? Waiting to see Santa and make sure that you don't miss him. But you know what I mean? I mean, really, truly, I think that's a great idea. And even for when you're older, you know, and you just trust that Santa knows where everything is, that it is a really important thing of how you can simplify that, or even simplify meals for the last week of Christmas, or when you have guests, family, you know, around, how can you simplify meals, or whatever it might be. You bet, sweetie. So whatever that might be, I love that. And again, remember outcomes. So even if you say, hey, just follow me, get more, what are they going to get? So if you invite them to say, you want more back behind the scenes, or do you want to feel the spirit of Christmas through us putting this night of Bethlehem together? Join us, follow me, and you can feel that boost every day without all the work. You'll be able to watch us do it and experience us do it and feel all the feels, right? Again, outcomes, outcomes, outcomes. They've got to have a reason why they get 3,000 invitations a day. That's what Storybrand said. I'm not pulling that out of my hat. 3,000 invitations a day. You, in order to stand out, you've got to share why they should choose you over those other 2,999. Why should they spend time with you? So put those, know your audience avatar, and put those outcomes out there and say, if you do this call to action, I'm going to give you that thing that you're looking for. Love it. Ladies, thank you so much. Again, you don't feel pressure, but did you get something out of this today, the call to action? Yeah, was that helpful? I'm just trying to figure out if this is helpful for us to go through Storybrand stuff together. And I'm getting feedback that yes, it is. So I'll keep doing these things and making sure we're finessing and tightening, tight like a dish, so that when you put something out there, it really is doing the magic. I know that when you use Storybrand and when we use this method, you do get results. You really do. So I know that we can say something and get behind it. And Lindsay, thumbs up. Everybody got something out of the Sharecast? Oh my goodness. And Mandy Marie, your beautiful thoughts that you shared, and then Melissa, who shared the official thought, she's not on here, but the official thought this morning about becoming was so good. We are going to have Tina on next week, who's going to do mindset with us, so we can get into a beautiful mindset for the Christmas holiday, so that we're not with our children. Not that we would be at all. That's somebody else. That's the neighbor. But anyway, thank you. You are so welcome, Glenda. So thank you so much for making the time to be here. We really do want to make this something you're like, I can't miss this, because I know it's going to fill me personally and professionally. And that's what we go for. So thank you. Love you, ladies,
Honey,
so much.
Can I
Yes.
put a little bug in your ear?
Yeah.
One of these days down the road, can we, even though we've been on a discovery call with you, can you go over your discovery call protocol?
Absolutely. Would anybody else like to see that? I have a module on it, but would anybody else like that? Okay, let's do it. We can do the discovery call. I know, and I wanted, if we had a little more time, I wanted to actually hot seat someone for a call to action, but we can do both. We can do discovery call and then hot seat a call to action. Does that sound like a plan? Let's do it. All right, I love this. And anytime you ladies have something you're like, oh, I really love to have this, let me know and we'll see if there's a majority. If not, we've got a module on it and I can just send you to that. I know sometimes it's just better when it's live and then you can ask questions and we can actually practice it together. So totally good. All right, ladies. Oh my gosh. I love and adore you so much. I want you to know when I say that it's not cheesy and it's not just on repeat. I feel it. This morning, I felt so much gratitude for you all and just like pinch myself that I get to do this and be with you. So thank you. Love you so much. We're going to have closing prayer by Tanya, and then we will let you go on your way.
You want to stop recording?
Ah, thank you. It takes a village.
And it saves me having to cut it out.